Hello everyone, welcome to the class. In the last lecture we were talking about business marketing communication, we had just started, and we briefed about what is the importance of marketing communication and how marketing communication differs from the B2B in the B2B and the B2C market, right. Uh, and we also discussed about the role of personal selling. So, what is personal selling, why personal selling is so important, and we have understood that because of the complexity of the product and the kind of customization that is involved in the B2B products, the industrial products and all. So, it makes very important that communication has to go clearly to the customer, right, and that helps in even creating the lead and the potential prospects, and the finally where you can maybe close a deal or convert them into a real customer. Today we will talk about the Salesforce organization. So, what is this Salesforce organization, and what kind of Salesforce organization is involved when you talk about companies, right? So, especially when we look at any firm, be it a B2B or a B2C, right, does not matter what kind of products they have. So, three types of organizations we generally say, the most commonly we say, right. One is a geographical point of view. So, we can have a organizational structure from geographical point of view. We can have organizational structure from a product point of view, and then from the market oriented point of view. So, what are these? Let us see. So, what is the geographical point of view or organizational structure? Here a salesperson is assigned a particular territory, branch or region for promoting the products of the company. So, to all the customers who are located in that particular geographical area, so the salespeople are given a target to cater to the clients of that particular location. Okay. It is good for generally small and medium sized companies with small, simple and lesser number of products, and whose customers have a very similar kind of need. Okay. So, this is also beneficial because it is beneficial to the customers, as a salesperson selling all the products of the company is responsible for efficient service and communication. So, since the medium and small size companies do not have too much of capital with them, so they can follow this kind of a structure that they focus their sales on terms of the geographical location. Okay. So, both the seller and the buyer benefit because of their constraints in capital and other things. So, this is how it looks like. So, in a geographical organizational structure, you have a general sales manager, then you have maybe eastern region sales manager, western region sales manager, then you have a district sales manager according to that particular location in that state or something. So, then after the district sales manager, under them there you have individual sales people. So, this is how the structure generally looks like, right. Look at this example. For example, this is the organizational structure in IBM, although it has a product based, function based and geographic based, but let us look at the geographic based division. So, you have for they have for America, Asia Pacific, Europe, Middle East and Africa. So, they have divided the market accordingly as per the countries and the continents that they are looking at, and obviously there will be subdivision because these are too large in size. So, when you talk about a country, again specifically under that you have specific locations like state wise, union territories in India and all, then districts and all. So, it goes on dividing the market as per the necessity of the company. Okay. Then sometimes the organizational structure can be looked from a product point of view also. So, here the salesperson are assigned a few products and not the entire geography or the entire location, but only a few products out of the various products of a company. So, the different salespeople specialize in selling different groups of products. So, for example, somebody is good at selling construction equipment, somebody is good at selling, let us say, defense equipment, somebody is good at selling let us say telecommunication equipments, related equipment. So, different kinds of products are there for a company. So, whatever the company is looking at, accordingly they can have their salespeople involved. Now, what is the benefit? Suitable, it is suitable for large organizations which have huge reach, and because they are large, they can have their salespeople focus on only specialized items, right. So, that helps them to understand the requirements of their clients and what exactly do they require, because these each individual product groups are so big and so large in size that their clients are also huge, big in size. So, accordingly what happens, it becomes easier for the company to cater to a particular client on basis of the particular specialized goods and service. Okay. It improves the value of the total offer to the customers due to the greater product knowledge permitted by the product specialization. So, as the salespeople are involved for that particular one or two product, let us say only defense equipments or only telecommunication equipments. So, the company, the buyer is always at a benefit, because it knows that the salespeople are extremely specialized and extremely competent in handling such kind of products. Okay. Now, this looks like, for example, a general sales manager is again there. So, you have product divisional sales manager for product A, product B, right, and then you have again you have divided into eastern regional sales manager, western region sales manager for product A, similarly for product B, and then district managers for each products. So, and then the individual sales people. So, this is how a product organization looks, that because you are dividing the market on basis of the product, the focus is here the product, right. So, this is a product based organization structure in Siemens, for example. So, Siemens has different divisions, product divisions, defense, electronics, industrial and building systems, data information systems, medical engineering. There are a lot more for semiconductors, there are different divisions, and under that again you can subdivide. If it is a very large company like Siemens, for example, you can again subdivide, for example, automation is one another group. So, subdivisions can be done under each of these product heads, right. So, this helps the company to be more focused and specialized salespeople can work. The third is market oriented organization. Here different salespeople sell the same products of the company, right, but the strength of selling, customer service and buyer seller relationship maintenance is different for different market segments. So, now here the focus is neither is on the basically on the market segment that we are catering to. It is suitable when there are different customer groups for or different market segments, different customer groups or different market targets markets that we have, right, who are not only large in size and potential, but also have different needs and their buying behavior is also different, right. Now, how does it help the manufacturing or the selling team? The salespeople, it helps the salespeople to develop a detailed knowledge of a particular group of customers. So, now the salespeople are aware that what is the requirement of my customer, what new requirements that they might have in the future. So, accordingly they can pass on the information to their production team, the R&D team, and the R&D team can work upon it and maybe come out with some new innovations for the clients. So, they work with this target group of customers and accordingly they try to develop their product and services for them. So, here also you have a general sales manager, for example, and then you have sales manager, for example, auto industry, you have farm and equipment, construction equipment, government and military. So, the segments have been are different, right. So, market segments, and then you have sales people and individuals, right. Now, this is a structure for Tata Steel, for example, we have made it for Tata Steel. So, Tata Steel has different divisions. So, construction, automotive, general engineering, industrial clients, agriculture. So, these are different segments and each segment can have subdivisions. For example, automotive has OEMs and ancillaries, right, and for industrial clients you have LPG, and the welding and process industries. So, all these divisions are divided, or the structure of the organization is made on basis of focusing on the kind of segment that you are targeting. Okay. Now, how do organizations create a simplified framework, right, to design the Salesforce? So, here if you look at this diagram, so what happens, the two axes, the x and the y axis, if you see. So, on the y axis you have different customer needs and similar customer needs. So, this is the different customer needs and here you have the similar customer needs, right. And in terms of your products, right. So, complex or large number of products, and this is simple and a lesser number of products. So, what it says is when the product is complex, has a large variety, and the customer needs are simple, right, or similar kind of needs they have. So, here the product structure should be followed, right. But when the needs are similar, but there is only simple and less number of few products, which generally happens in case of small and medium enterprises. So, the kind of organization, the structure that should be followed is a geographical orientation, right. Now, if the structure is less simple and if you have fewer products, and but the customer needs are different. So, the focus should be on the market oriented organization. So, which we just saw the on basis of the target segments, right. Now, the fourth one is if you have different customer needs and a complex or large number of products, maybe a combination of the two could be utilized, right. Maybe a combination of the product or the market orientation can be utilized for this. So, this is a simplified framework which helps maybe which will be helpful for a manager or a potential manager to understand what kind of a structure should we use in which condition, right. So, these two axes are very important, and this can help you in designing the structure. Now, Salesforce deployment, because we have been talking about personal selling and the role of personal selling in B2B products and services, we know that Salesforce are the key people, or they are the most important people. They are the connection between the manufacturer and the buyer. Now, how many Salesforce should I have as a company? What should be the number of Salesforce deployed? Is a critical question, because over very high number of Salesforce can be negative for a company, because it can unnecessarily erode the profitability of the company, or less number of Salesforce will not be able to give you enough sales, and for that what happens is you may not reach your target which you have decided. So, the problem is under deployment also is bad, and over deployment is also bad. So, you must have seen many a times, heard in newspapers, you must have read that companies have removed a certain number of workforce from their entire team, given VRS or potential golden handshakes. So, why is it done? Recently Air India did it, for they gave a golden handshake to most of their some of their executives. Okay. So, the question here is Salesforce deployment is a challenge, right, and with the right size of the Salesforce and a good territory design, the allocation of resources becomes very handy and very it becomes much effectively done, right. So, here the goal is to ensure effective utilization of the Salesforce effort, right, and these three methods are utilized for that. Now, the three methods, the first one is the breakdown method. Now, what is this method? Here the sales manager estimates the productivity of the average salesperson and then forecast the sales volume of the company. So, using this formula, N is equal to S upon P, and in bracket you have 1 plus T. Now, what is N? N is the number of sales personnel, right. So, N is the number of sales personnel needed, how many people you require. Forecast, S is my forecast. So, this is my forecasted volume. So, this is my forecasted volume. Okay. P is my sales productivity. So, this is my sales productivity, and T is nothing but my allowance. Now, this is not time. So, this is allowance. So, you can say how much of allowance for rate of Salesforce. So, people will be leaving your job and they might be going for better opportunities, or something can happen. So, what is that allowance rate, how much you are ready to give it. So, that is what it says. So, let us see, this is a example. XYZ Limited is a company. So, a fictitious obviously name. So, the sales forecast for the next year is 3 crores, was worth 3 crores rupees, right, and the estimated productivity for average salesperson is 10 lakh rupees, 10 lakh. So, one salesperson can sell up to 10 lakh worth of products, and the forecast is 3 crores, right, and anticipated annual sales force turnover is 20%. So, what would be the appropriate sales force? Now, it is saying 3 crores is what I can forecasted sales, and this is per Salesforce I can sell is 10 lakh, right, and this is my turnover. So, turnaround means people who will leave, my chance is they might leave. So, if you multiply, so keeping some always, this is like keeping some extra force for any exigency or any emergency period. So, as you must be knowing that software companies keep people at their bench, so that they can, by showing them, they can get bigger projects. So, by doing this, what you can see is, you can simply calculate, and it will give you this, it gives you the figure of Salesforce size is 36. So, to achieve a 3 crore forecasted sales, and with a productivity of rupees 10 lakh worth of sales per salesperson, and a 20% turnover. So, we see that we require 36 number of people in a total sales team, right. The second case is a total workload method, again a very simple method. So, here what is happening is, there are few steps. So, first is to classify the customers into several groups on the basis of their sales potential. So, you can classify as large customers, mid size customers, and small customers. Okay. In the second step, we decide the number of calls for each of the groups of customers. Now, for example, in the second step, you understand that there are a small, medium and large, let us say large, medium and small. So, how many calls or how many meetings will I have to do to convert a call into a final to close the deal in case of a large customer? How many meetings or sales call I have to make to convert or close the deal for a medium? Similarly, for a small customer. Obviously, this will differ, because in case of large clients, maybe you have to work little harder, right, in comparison to medium or smaller clients. Okay. In the third step, what we do is calculate the total workload by multiplying different customer groups by their corresponding call frequency and call time. Not only how many times you are meeting the client, how much time also you are giving. Maybe you have gone to a location where there are two different clients. So, if one client takes up all your time, then you might not be able to meet the next the other client. So, maybe you have to stay for the next day, and that is an extra cost to the company, right, because the salesperson has to stay there and stay in the hotel and spend money on that. So, that is an additional cost to the company. In the fourth step, you determine the total time available per salesperson, right. So, we will do how in a year, how many days he is working, how many days in a hours in a day. So, all this we will find out. And finally, on basis of this, by dividing step 3, that is calculate the total workload by the total time, we will find out the total number of people required. Now, let us take this example. ABC Limited estimates 500 numbers of A class large, that means large potential companies A, which is large or A, it has been mentioned, are 500 in number. Okay. 1000 mid sized or B class customers are there, and customers with small sales potential will be looked by telemarketing of the company's dealers, right. So, in this case, assume that A class customers require 60 minutes per sales call, right, and B class customers require 30 minutes per sales call. So, as I said, the sales call will be obviously more for the larger clients, because their demand, they negotiate a lot. The number of sales calls to be made per year for A class customer is 36. So, we will have to make 36 calls or visits, whatever, and for the B class customers is 12, right. As per the company policy, salespeople should work 40 hours per week, 45 weeks per year. So, how many weeks are there? We have 52 weeks, but 45 weeks we are working, and devote 40%, 30% and 30% of the time to selling activities. Now, selling activities, non-selling activities and traveling. So, 3 ways you have divided the job. So, for selling activities, that is actual negotiation, discussion with the clients, presentation and all, takes 40% of your time. 30% of your time goes in non-selling activities. Non-selling means waiting for the client, maybe these are some activities, and 30% of the remaining time is for traveling. So, where you are traveling, you have not yet reached the place. Now, in this case, how many people should the company have? How many people should they hire ABC Limited? Now, let us calculate total workload. So, the total workload necessary to cover the entire market. So, class A and B, so because the third class was being taken up by the telemarketing executives. So, you had 500 clients and 1000 clients, right. So, they require 36 calls, the large ones, and the small ones required 12, and each call was 60 minutes here and here 30 minutes, right. So, if I multiply total 500 into 36 calls into 1 hour, right. So, comes about 18,000 hours per, right, total to 18,000 hours, right. Similarly, for 1000 customers, if I have to make 12 calls and multiplied by half an hour, so it comes to 6,000 hours. So, my total workload for the entire group of customers A and B is how much? 24,000 hours, 18 plus 6. So, now if you know, after doing this, what we are saying is, now we have to find the productivity of the salespeople. So, each salesperson has how much hours per year? Now, 40 hours per week into 45 hours per year, 45 weeks per year, sorry. So, 1800 hours, 40 into 45, out of which only 40% is dedicated to the selling activities. So, therefore, total time available per salesperson in a year is how much? 1800 into 40%. So, which gives me 720 hours, right. And here I had a requirement of 24,000 hours. So, obviously, if I divide 24,000 hours by 720 hours, that gives me 33.3, right. So, therefore, ABC Limited needs 33.3 salespeople, which is approximately equal to 34. Obviously, you can't have a 0.3%. So, you will have a 34%, right. So, this 34% is what is the final number we will require. Now, this is the workload method. The third method that we will follow up is called incremental method. As you can understand with the word incremental, here we will try to compare the contribution or the benefit that the company gets in comparison to the cost that it is making. So, per unit, when you are making a new additional unit, what additional cost you are incurring and what additional benefit you are making. So, when we look into that, and when the till the net benefit is always positive or profitable, the company is in a profit mode. So, it will go on adding salespeople. For example, let us say here this method is based on the marginal analysis theory of economics, and it says that additional salespeople should be added as long as the profits exceed the incremental cost. So, incremental cost is in this case, let us say 12 lakhs, unit as 100, 1000, 10,000, lakh, 10 lakhs. So, 12 lakhs. So, 12 lakh of revenue per let us say salespeople we are charging, we are incurring, and but the benefit that we are getting is, let us say for the 100th, let us say 100th person. So, 15 lakh 60,000 is our contribution. We added one more, and now the contribution is obviously coming down. Why is contribution coming down? Maybe the obviously the market is still limited. So, two people are now working, obviously they can expand a bit, but then they cannot go double or something, it is not possible. So, 14 lakh 40,000, when 3 people are coming in, so 13 lakh 20,000. Still the if you look at, it is still more, if we are still in a positive mode. But now when we are adding the fourth guy, so here the contribution that is making is only 12 lakhs, because now the market has become subdivided or smaller pieces. Okay. So, as a result, you can see here you are getting 3 lakh 60,000, here you are getting 2 lakh 40,000, here you are getting 1 lakh 20,000, but here now there is no additional benefit. Rather, if you add more, maybe you will get into a negative, that means minus, that means the cost will now exceed the contribution. So, here we understand that the number of salespeople required will be up to here. So, we do not need any 103rd person also. So, 102 we will stop. Okay. Now, after these 3 methods that we have learnt, right. So, of sales deployment. Now, coming to something called sales resource opportunity grid. Now, what is this opportunity grid? So, a sales resource opportunity grid is a tool used in selling effort deployment, right. So, what it does is it tries to position all the PCUs or the planning and control units like sales territories and districts on the grid. Okay. And the sales manager can assign sales resources to those that have the greatest level of opportunity and tries to maximize the benefit out of it. So, what is PCU? PCU's total potential for all sellers, and sales organizational strength is firm's competitive advantages or distinctive competencies. Okay. So, looking at this, for example, if you can see, if you can make the slide little bigger, zoom it and see it. So, when the PCU opportunity can be high, can be low, sales organizational strength can be high, low. So, the first case, let us see, when you have the high PCU opportunity and a high sales strength, right. So, PCU offers good opportunity because it has high potential and because sales organization has strong position. So, the sales team is doing good and it has opportunity. So, what is the requirement here? What should be the company strategy? High level of sales resources to take advantage of opportunity. So, here more number of people should be deployed to take advantage of the situation, since the company has a good strength and opportunity is there, they should try to use this sales force. Second case is where the opportunity is high and let us say the opportunity is low, sorry, this case, and here the sales strength is, organizational strength is high. So, in such a condition it says PCU offers stable opportunity because sales organization has strong position. So, in terms of sales you have a strong position, right. Now, what should be done? Moderate level of sales resources to keep the current position strength. So, that means to take opportunity to, since the opportunity is not much here. So, you can maybe remove some of your sales force and deploy it somewhere else. So, not much of opportunity is there. So, you need not focus too much, put all your resources into the one basket. Okay. Third case it says is when the PCU opportunity is high, right, and the sales organizational strength is low now. So, we are talking about this situation. So, the PCU may offer good opportunity if sales can strengthen its position, if sales people can join and it can strengthen its position, so it can do better. So, recently you must have heard about, there is a condition which is a case going on in the software business in India, which is called moonlighting. Now, what is moonlighting? Moonlighting is a situation where people are working for more than one organization, right. So, some of the companies are challenging it because they are saying it is unethical, it is talks about the integrity, and even it creates doubt about from the customer point of view, because the client's business model may be leaked outside. So, this is a case where the Salesforce management is becoming a very important issue. Okay, the Salesforce or the team working in the technical side, there when they are working on multiple companies and understanding our multiple clients, it is not a very good situation. So, here what it is saying, either direct a high level of sales resources to improve position and take advantage of the opportunity, or shift resources to the other PCUs. So, either you shift the resources or you hire new people, right. The last case is where the opportunity is low and the sales strength is low. So, what is saying? Limited opportunity is there or very little opportunity is there. So, in this case minimum level of sales resources selectively. So, you should selectively eliminate the resource coverage. So, maybe if the PCU opportunity is so low, then you may even eliminate the PCU because the control unit is not going to provide you much benefits. So, you can eliminate it. So, this is what is called as a sales resource opportunity grid, right. So, you can take an example of your own and try to think about the opportunity and the sales organizational strength, maybe in the organization that you are working, or take any fictitious example or any real example that you can get a hold of information, and try to understand this concept accordingly, right. This will help. So, with this I will try to wind up today's lecture. So, we will meet in the next lecture. Till then, take care. Thank you very much.